Stop! If you are over 65, your Social Security just changed. There is a brand new law and a massive security update for 2026 that every senior in America needs to see right now. If you've been hearing rumors about a new Social Security PIN, you aren't alone, but most people are getting the facts dead wrong. Starting this year, the Social Security Administration has rolled out the Security Authentication PIN, SAP. This isn't just another government hoop to jump through, it is a critical shield against the wave of identity theft targeting retirees. But here's the kicker. If you don't know how to generate this code before you call the SSA, you could be blocked from changing your direct deposit, updating your address, or even checking your claim status. In today's video, I'm breaking down the exact law signed that changes how you access your benefits, how to get your 2026 PIN in under 60 seconds, the hidden tax deduction for seniors that could put $6,000 back in your pocket this year. Your benefits are your lifeline. Don't let a simple security change or a missed tax break cost you thousands. If you want to stay protected and keep more of your hard-earned money this year, hit that like button right now so we can get this vital information out to every senior in America. Wait, don't look away, because what I'm about to tell you is the difference between a secure retirement and a total nightmare in 2026. For years, we've relied on the same old systems to protect our hard-earned benefits. But the world has changed, and frankly, the scammers have gotten smarter. That is exactly why this new law and the subsequent rollout of the Security Authentication PIN, or SAP, is the most important update to your Social Security account in over a decade. If you are over the age of 65, you are the primary target for identity thieves who are currently using sophisticated AI to bypass the old security questions we all used to answer. You know the ones, like your mother's maiden name or the street you grew up on. The Social Security Administration realized that those knowledge-based questions just aren't enough anymore because that data is sitting on the dark web right now. So, here is the reality of the situation. This new SAP system is essentially a digital deadbolt for your benefits. Think of it as a specialized high-security code that is unique to you and the SSA. Starting right now in 2026, if you need to call the national 800 number to handle anything sensitive, like changing your bank account for direct deposit or updating your home address, the representative is going to ask you for this specific PIN. If you don't have it, you might find yourself stuck in a bureaucratic loop, potentially forced to visit a local Social Security office in person just to prove you are who you say you are. Nobody wants to spend their Tuesday morning sitting in a waiting room when they could have handled everything in a 3-minute phone call. By setting up this PIN now, you are effectively cutting your wait time by 30% because the system authenticates you almost instantly, allowing the technician to get straight to helping you. But the security update is only half of the story this year. We also have to talk about the senior bonus deduction that was recently signed into law as part of the working family's tax cuts. This is a massive win for seniors that isn't getting nearly enough news coverage. If you are 65 or older, you may now be eligible for a $6,000 deduction on your federal taxes. If you are a married couple filing jointly, that number jumps to $12,000. For millions of Americans living on a fixed income, this effectively wipes out the federal tax on their Social Security benefits entirely. Imagine having an extra $500 a month back in your pocket just because of a change in the tax code. However, there is a catch. This deduction is temporary and currently scheduled to sunset in 2028 unless new legislation, like the Permanent Tax Relief for Seniors Act, gets passed. This means you need to take advantage of it right now while it's available. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I actually get this PIN and make sure I'm eligible for that tax break? The first thing you must do is head over to the official SSA website and log into your My Social Security account. If you haven't created one yet, 2026 is the year you absolutely have to do it. The government is moving away from paper checks entirely, a move that was finalized by executive order, meaning if you aren't digital, you are at risk of payment delays. Once you're in your account, look for the security settings to generate your SAP. This is a one-time setup that stays with you. At the same time, check your message center for your COLA notice. We're seeing a 2.8% increase in benefits this year, which adds about $56 a month for the average retiree. While that's good news, you have to balance it against the fact that Medicare Part B premiums are also rising to over $200. It feels like the government is giving with one hand and taking with the other, doesn't it? That is why understanding these hidden rules, like the new PIN and the $6,000 senior deduction, is so vital. You have to be your own advocate because the SSA isn't going to call you to make sure you're saving money on your taxes. In fact, if someone calls you claiming to be from Social Security and asks for your new PIN over the phone without you initiating the call, hang up immediately. That is the #1 scam we are seeing in 2026. The real SSA will never call you out of the blue to verify your PIN. You only provide that code when you call them to make a change. Stay with me here, because there's another layer to this that affects anyone who is still working while collecting benefits. The earnings limit has increased to $24,480 for 2026. This is huge because it means you can earn more money at your job without the government withholding a portion of your Social Security check. If you're reaching your full retirement age this year, that limit is even higher, over $65,000. This is the sweet spot for many seniors who want to stay active and pad their savings without being penalized by the system. When you combine those higher earnings limits with the $6,000 tax deduction and the new security PIN, you start to see a path toward a much more stable and prosperous retirement, even with the rising costs of healthcare and inflation. Everything we've discussed today, from the SAP security rollout to the massive tax relief for those over 65, is designed to put the power back in your hands. The 2026 landscape for Social Security is complex, but it's also full of opportunities if you know where to look. We are seeing a fundamental shift in how the government interacts with retirees, moving toward a digital-first, high-security model. It can feel overwhelming to keep up with every new law and every administrative change, but taking that first step by securing your account with a PIN is the foundation for everything else. It protects your identity, it protects your check, and it ensures that you are the only one who can make decisions about your financial future. I'm keeping a close eye on the floor of Congress right now because there is a lot of talk about making these tax breaks permanent and even potentially increasing the COLA further if inflation spikes again mid-year. There are also discussions about the Social Security Trust Fund and how these new deductions might affect the long-term solvency of the program. Some analysts are worried that the lost tax revenue could move the insolvency date up by a few months. But for most seniors today, the immediate relief of $6,000 is far more important than a projection for 10 years from now. You need that money today to cover rising grocery bills and utility costs. As we move further into 2026, I want you to remember that being over 65 doesn't mean you're at the mercy of the system. It means you are part of a massive, powerful group of Americans that the government is finally starting to listen to. These changes, the PIN, the tax breaks, the higher earnings limits, they didn't happen by accident. They happened because people like you demanded more security and more respect for the lifetime of work you put in. So, take the time this week to get your digital house in order. Set up that My Social Security account, generate your PIN, and talk to your tax professional about the senior bonus deduction. Your future self will thank you for being proactive instead of reactive. I'll be here every step of the way, breaking down the fine print and making sure you never miss a dollar that you are legally owed. There is so much more to cover, especially regarding the new Medicare enrollment rules that are kicking in next month. But for today, your priority is that security PIN. It is the gatekeeper to your benefits. And in a world where digital threats are everywhere, it is your most valuable tool. Don't wait for a problem to occur before you act. Be the person who saw the change coming and prepared for it. The 2026 Social Security landscape is evolving quickly, and staying informed is the only way to ensure your golden years stay golden. We've seen how quickly laws can be signed, and how fast the SSA can change its policies, so having a direct line of information is more important than ever. Make sure you're checking your mail for that simplified one-page COLA notice, as that will have your specific benefit amounts and any deductions for Medicare already calculated for you. This transparency is a step in the right direction, but it's up to you to verify the numbers and ensure you're getting every cent. If you're worried about the technology side of things, don't be. The SSA has made the PIN generation process very user-friendly, and there are even AI-based chatbots on their site now to guide you through the process if you get stuck. It's all about making the system work for you, not against you. Retirement should be about peace of mind, not worrying if your next check is going to be intercepted by a hacker or if you're going to be hit with a surprise tax bill. By mastering these new 2026 rules, you're taking a huge leap toward that peace of mind. Keep your eyes open, stay skeptical of official-looking emails or calls, and always go directly to the source at ssa.gov. You've worked hard for your benefits, and you deserve to enjoy them with the highest level of security and the maximum amount of tax savings possible. Let's make 2026 the year your retirement security becomes ironclad. I understand how confusing these changes can feel, especially when your financial security is on the line. But I want to make sure you have the absolute clarity you need to navigate this new 2026 landscape. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I know that keeping up with the Social Security Administration can sometimes feel like a full-time job in itself. Between the new Security Authentication PIN, that vital digital deadbolt for your benefits, and the massive $6,000 senior tax deduction from the working family's tax cuts, there is a lot to juggle. But remember, these updates are actually designed to give you more control and more protection than you've ever had before. The most important takeaway for you right now is that you don't have to do this alone. The tools are already in place for you to secure your account and claim the money that is legally yours. Whether it's going onto the SSA website to generate that PIN so you can skip the long phone lines, or making sure your tax professional knows about the new deduction that could effectively wipe out your federal tax bill, the power is entirely in your hands. This isn't just about following new rules. It's about making the system work for you after you've spent a lifetime working for it. I am committed to keeping you informed as these 2026 laws continue to roll out and as we see how the IRS handles these brand new forms. Things move fast in Washington, and I'll be right here to break down every update, every new tax break, and every security change as they happen. Don't let the fear of technology or the complexity of the tax code keep you from the benefits you've earned. You've put in the years, you've paid into the system, and now it is your time to reap the rewards with total peace of mind. Before we wrap up, I want to make sure you are fully prepared for the next step. Since we talked about that $6,000 deduction, or $12,000 for couples, you're probably wondering exactly where that goes on your tax return and what specific documents you need to gather. It's one thing to know the law exists, but it's another thing entirely to make sure you don't miss a single line on your 1040 SR. This is the year to be meticulous, because every dollar you save is a dollar that stays in your pocket for your health, your home, and your family.